Tops never mops. Look at their floors. If you live in the Western New York, Pennsylvania, Connecticut bullshit area type dealio, you know what Tops Friendly Markets is, and you know how they're like, Tops never stops saving for you. Even though they don't. They're like the most expensive supermarket in the history of supermarkets. Like literally I could walk into a Whole Foods and order a yogurt, like a frozen fucking yogurt for like 19 cents less than it would be to get like a regular yogurt at Tops. So like that's a thing. Anyway, I worked there for like 6 months, and it was, well, it was shit. It was absolute shite. I worked in the grocery department during the day, which you would think the grocery department during the day basically be a couple guys there, maybe 4 or 5 guys on the day shift, 3 or 4 guys on a night shift, and then a night crew, like day shift, mid shift, and then night shift. Nah, it was like one guy on a day shift, one guy on the close shift, and like 4 guys on night crew. So instead of like, day crew having like 4 or 5 guys, each one having like 3 or 4 aisles to deal with, nah, what we did was we just dealt with the sales. So if it was on sale, we dealt with it. But we didn't put it on a shelf. We put it on a display in the front of the store or in the back of the store, wherever we happen to have the display. That was Sunday through Thursday. On Friday, we took shit off the displays and put it on the shelf. We didn't put anything new there, we just put the shit on the shelf. Then on Saturday, we took the rest of the shit off the displays and put it in the shelf and in our back room. Which, whatever, sales different, you don't have room on the shelf. But then afterwards, we put new displays on. And instead of always having stuff that was the same size, we had different sizes. Like one fucking week, a spot that was a display had cereal in it. The next week, it had mushrooms. Mushroom cans is this size. Cereal is the size of a cereal box. So like we had to add shelves to the display, and it pissed me off to no end. In the time there, the manager of the grocery department was on vacation when I started working. Okay, so there's a fill-in. Because it was a large store, you couldn't not have it. Excuse me. So, he leaves on Saturday. On Friday, I come back in and work again. I work Sunday, Friday, Saturday of that week. Friday, I come back in, meet the actual grocery manager. And this is noon. 5 o'clock, he's leaving. And turns out he quit. He literally put in his 2 weeks' notice during my shift. So, he works like a week and a half, which is simple, whatever. He works like a week and a half and does his thing. Then we have no grocery manager for a week and a half because they had to get somebody in who could, like, replace him. That guy comes in, and his boss is all like, you can't do your job. You can't do your job. You don't know what you're doing. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. And eventually that guy gets transferred out, even though he wasn't not doing his job. He wasn't doing great, but that wasn't his fault because he wasn't trained on how to operate a large store. He came from a tiny-ass store. Like, 4 of our aisles were the size of his fucking store. So, like, that's a big difference. It's going to take a while to adjust if you don't have any training. So he gets transferred out, and his new guy comes in. And his new guy is a ratchet cunt. So this new guy is basically the reason why I quit, because he's a fucking ratchet-ass cunt. So he's just like yelling and screaming about everything. He decides to change the way everything's done from the normal way that people have been doing it for 20 years at the store to the stupid way. So I've quit. I still keep in contact with some of the other people I worked with at the store, and I found out that in the last 3 weeks, this guy has failed to show up for his shift without calling. So, twice, which I don't understand how he still has a job. So I'm actually going to try to find out information about that sometime in the next week. Oh, and also, Tops Markets is represented by United Food and Commercial Workers Local 1. And the thing with that is, United Food and Commercial Workers doesn't do shit for their members. Like, literally, the benefits that they say they have I could get those anywhere. Like, I was making minimum wage at Tops. I went to my new employer. I make almost $12 an hour. So, like, $9.70 to $12. And I do way less shit at my new employer. Oh, also, Tops sells expired stuff. Like, they keep cheese on the shelf 8 years past its expiration date.
Yeah, I remember I bought some cheese from it before.
And it was like 8 years out of date.
That only happened to me one time, though. It didn't have no expiration date, but I can tell it was old.
Oh, yeah. It is old as shit. Also, sometimes they sell expired yogurt, expired milk.
I didn't even think it was even legal for them to do that.
Oh, it's not. They just do it anyway because, they're part of the mafia.
Yeah, you should have just give it to like a food pantry or something.
Yeah, that's okay.
You know what? I actually don't see why they don't do that. Like, have like a food pantry in the store for like expired stuff for stuff that they kind of don't want no more, but that's not spoiled. Just give it to like, the homeless people or something like that.
That's actually the law in France. Unsold food has to be donated to a homeless shelter or a food pantry or something like that. But, remember, this is America. If you can't buy your own food, you should die.